What if a hot meal could be the first step towards a new life? From a small house kitchen serving just 15 people to more than 2 million meals served across 43 years, this episode is all about what it looks like when a community shows up. Today on the Truman Charities podcast, we're joined by Daniella Burgos, Director of Development at Shepherd's Table, an organization serving Montgomery County's neighbors experiencing food insecurity, homelessness, and poverty. We talk about how Shepherd's Table provides hot, nutritious meals 3 times a day, every single day, while offering so much more than food, including workforce development through their Culinary Skills Training Program, a free eye clinic, and a clothing closet that restores dignity and confidence. You'll hear stories of transformation from meal guests becoming professional chefs to life-changing moments inspired by their eye clinic. But before we talk to Daniella, please take a moment to rate and review the Truman Charities podcast. We are a 100% volunteer-based organization, so the reviews really do help introduce our podcast to new listeners. Okay, now it's time to welcome Daniella to Truman Charities. So Daniella, you are the Director of Development for Shepherd's Table, and I want to know a little bit about exactly what your organization is and how you're helping people in Montgomery County who are experiencing food insecurity, homelessness, and poverty.
Yeah, Shepherd's Table has a pretty wonderful story. We our roots are really based in the community. We started 43 years ago in a small house kitchen in which we had 15 people join dinner that evening. They were brought in by some wonderful volunteers from really wonderful group of congregations and synagogues that came together, realizing that there was a real issue happening. Homelessness, food insecurity was a real problem in Montgomery County, and they really wanted to do something about it that really spoke to their values. And so they came together to volunteer every evening to put on a dinner for people in their community, their neighbors. And it's grown over the last 43 years to involve a lot more than just a meal. We are proud to say that we've never missed a meal service in our 43 years of serving our community. But we are so much more than a soup kitchen. We provide a lot more programs under kind of the social services umbrella. And we have an eye clinic, a free eye clinic for Montgomery County neighbors and residents. And so we are so excited to not only kind of uphold some of these values and mission that started 43 years ago by making sure that a hot meal is provided 3 times a day and twice on the weekends, but also adding more programs that really speak to helping our clients and our meal guests create pathways towards well-being. A part of our mission is to really be a support system and a reliable place in which people can find the resources they need, but also find the support that they need, whether it's through our Culinary Skills Program, which is our workforce development program, so that they can get the skills to maybe get a job in a field that feels aligned with what they're needing at that moment, or whether it's finding job interview clothes at our clothing closet. So just really providing and thinking outside the box at the same time. Really providing meals and thinking outside the box at the same time is really important to us.
Yes, I was reading about your Culinary Skills Training Program, and I want to talk about that because that's really interesting. But let's first talk a little bit about your daily meal program. You have, if I am correct, served over 2 million meals.
Yes.
That is incredible. So tell me exactly how the meal program was created, and how do you choose what type of meals, and how do you find the people to serve?
Yeah. No, so our meal program is really based in this kind of volunteer kind of necessary program. We could not do those daily meals without our amazing volunteers, some who are regulars and have been for years and years. And so we have full-time chefs that create the meal and menu planning. A lot of what they do is making sure that we have a protein, a vegetable, a starch at every meal, making sure that it's kind of a hot and kind of nutritiously complete meal. We also want to make sure that it feels comforting. So a lot of these are favorite recipes of our chefs, whether it's a beautiful stew that people have grown up with, or the best casserole that anyone has ever had. Our meal guests also thoroughly enjoy themed nights. They love a Taco Tuesday. They love lunch on Fridays because those are usually hot sandwiches. So it's really an opportunity for our chefs to get creative. With the resources that we get, because we get a lot of our food donated to us, and so the ingredients that we're using, people have to get creative and put something really wonderful together, which they always do. And so there's a menu planning and kind of setting up and things like that. And then throughout the day, we're cooking. Our kitchen is kind of fully packed with not only our chefs and our kitchen assistants, but also volunteers that want to come and help food prep. So they're doing a lot of chopping of potatoes and onions and making sure that the salad has been created or the veggies have been chopped for something. And then for meal service, we have about 15 volunteers every meal service who join us in kind of a buffet style line to help serve the meal. We have volunteers walking the floor, helping, our meal guests throw things away, finish up, get additional drinks or things like that. And then we have wonderful dishwashers. And now our volunteer dishwashers take their job very seriously. It's a hot place to be in, dishwashing. We have a beautiful kind of huge machine that helps to do all of that stuff. So we have some really, really wonderful volunteers that take their jobs very seriously, especially during meal service. But it's a really incredible team that comes together to be able to put the meals out. And we have a kind of a cafeteria style setup with a beautiful kitchen that we were able to design. It takes the full community to be able to do this. And we're so lucky that, our roots kind of started that, this kind of volunteer-led program.
So tell us a little bit, which I found very interesting, your Culinary Skills Training Program, which I believe, is it a 12 or a 16-week course?
So it's a 12-week intensive training with 4 weeks of an internship. So 16 total. But the 12 weeks are really, it's an everyday 8 to 4 training in which our students, we pick smaller cohorts of students, but these are students from our meal guest and our client community that really are ready to take the next step in their journey. And so they do not only what we call knife skills, but also life skills. That's a big part of our program and our curriculum, is to really work on, social emotional intelligence, but also teamwork. Because in a kitchen, you're working together and that's really important. But we're also really going through some of our students' traumas and really figuring out how to lean on each other, how to work together, how to overcome and be resilient in those moments, and all doing this while growing the confidence to cook and create a menu and meals and And so they learn all the basics from, knife skills to mother sauces to really putting together a nutritiously complete like menu. We end the 12-week intensive with a showcase of what they've learned. And so this last time, our students put together a coursed meal for our meal guests for dinner service, which was just really, really beautiful and wonderful. They had creme brulee for dessert. They had salads. They had, just, a beautiful chicken that they were roasting all day, so just really wonderful food that you would find in a restaurant. But really, the meal guests love to say, like see this kind of different menu, but they also loved that some of their colleagues and friends were the ones that were able to make it for them, and they've accomplished something so big. And so that type of camaraderie and community was just so beautiful to watch. And then to be able to do it in our kind of cafeteria style, it felt a little bit odd, but also just a wonderful evening in which there was a lot of joy, a lot of music, and a lot of really, really good food.
It sounds really good.
Yes, yeah.
So is there one student that kind of stands out to you that has been through the culinary training program and has really succeeded?
Yes, absolutely. We've had a couple, but one story really stands out because she actually joined our Shepherd's Table team of chefs and kitchen assistants after her time in the Culinary Skills Program. Rabaha learned of the Culinary Skills Program after coming to Shepherd's Table for a couple of meals. She had previously been a caretaker of her elderly family members, and after they had passed, she was really lost, but also facing homelessness. And so, in her effort to try to, as a young woman trying to kind of get things back on track, she found Shepherd's Table while riding the bus during the day, and was able to get a meal and really interact with some of our other meal guests. And at that time, we were taking applications for the Culinary Skills Training Program. And so through our social services team, she learned about the program, and she was able to apply and really, really had her heart set on really creating a career path. She had always been very passionate about cooking. Her elderly family members had always loved to cook, and so this felt like a really safe space for her in the kitchen. And she really blossomed. She was very shy when she entered the program, and a little bit, unsure of herself, but through learning and really mastering these like skills like knives and mother sauces and all this stuff, you could see her gaining confidence in herself and really being able to open up and tell a little bit more about her story and what it means to her. And so by the end of the program, she had just blossomed and really, really thrived in the environment. And it was, kind of a situation in which the staff were like, we can't let her go. She needs to be a part of this team. Her passion and her heart were very in line with some of our staff's values and things like that. And so she joined, after her graduation, she joined the team as a kitchen assistant and has really loved sharing some of her favorite meals. She has a wonderful sweet potato pudding dessert that she breaks out every month for our meal guests, which they absolutely love. And she's just, gaining so much knowledge of how to cook for so many people. We're serving over 200 people at every meal. And so that type of kind of knowledge and learning that skill is a really big deal. And so for her to come from, just like a 12-week intensive to then really trying to master those skills of being able to work and manage a kitchen and a team is so important. And, there's another level of personal interaction that she's just really mastered with our volunteers as well. as the manager of the kitchen and kind of the head honcho during some of those meal times, it's important that you have a good rapport with everyone. And she's just such a shining light. And she completed 1 year here at Shepherd's Table this past winter, and is just growing every single day. And so we're just so thankful that we have this program and this curriculum in place. But also, it's just such a testament because 2/3 of our graduates have found jobs. And so we're just so overjoyed that not only are we able to help in that regard as far as employment, but some of our favorite restaurants in the area have been able to help out and make sure that, that we're training people for the kitchens that they're going to go to. And they're so thankful for that because that can be really, really hard to find somebody that can work in a kitchen.
So you mentioned that you're serving over, 200 people per meal.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how these people that are in need find Shepherd's Table.
Yeah, that's a great question because since we've been in the area for so long, it's a lot of word of mouth, but really it's through our Montgomery County's continuum of care. Within the services to end and prevent homelessness, we are a partner. We are someone that we get referred to, a lot of people get referred to us, especially because we are in a location with a housing partner. And so Interfaith Works is our housing partner, who I know has previously been on, but we're in the same building as them. And so we're working together. A lot of people come for a meal, but they get so much more out of it as we're able to refer people to Interfaith Works, and we're able to make sure that we're kind of a reliable support system, just making sure that they have access to meals every single day, as well as this training program if they want.
So when I was on your website and I was looking at all your programs and I
Yeah.
saw the eye clinic and I said, how did this come about? Right? Because you have your meal, you're serving meals, and then you have this culinary training program. And I said, how does eye clinic come about? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that I think is another testament to our community and our wonderful volunteers. It started with we had an eye doctor that wanted to serve her community, and we were like, "That's a great idea. We want to do that too." And specifically, eye health with the people that we serve and the neighbors that we serve is definitely a medical care that gets lost. It's not something that people are aware of. So intently, but it is something just because of the conditions that one might be living in that's so important to make sure that regular screenings are done. And so we started very simply as someone kind of once a month setting up shop at our location and just doing eye exams. Quickly realizing that through those eye exams, there was a lot of people that needed additional care. So we then partnered with some eye doctors around Montgomery County to do additional referrals for cataract screenings, glaucoma screenings, and then, again, just trying to figure out if we can additionally help them financially if they needed to get additional care for glaucoma or cataract surgeries. We had a client who it was something that she had never thought about, kind of eye care. And because she had been coming here so long to our resource center and had been getting her mail here, she had decided to sign up for an eye exam. And through that eye exam, realized that she did have glaucoma. And the process in which our eye doctor was able to kind of guide her through that, especially to be a support system during that, was really, really wonderful to see because there was a lot of it's a big choice, especially with funds and things like that, on what you're spending your money on, and how you're spending it. And so to really take care of herself and realize that this could lead to additional things. It could lead to her losing her eyesight. A lot of this stuff, just having that support system around her to help her make that decision, to help her financially, but also kind of emotionally. She was able to kind of get some of those treatments and surgeries, and it's a new lease on life when you're able to see, when you're able to feel good about your eyesight and what you can accomplish as well. It really gave her the confidence to go after some of those additional kind of goals that she had, and like getting a job and making sure that not only is she doing stuff to kind of help her financially, but also self-care, right? Making sure she's going to regular appointments and medical appointments and things like that, just to make sure that the whole person is being taken care of.
Talking about taking care of the whole person, you guys also have clothing closets. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that also, just kind of spurred from volunteers putting together some drives for us for our resource center. We give out regularly underwear, t-shirts, socks to anybody that comes to our resource center window. And so we were getting extra donations of shirts and pants and different things like that. And so we created a clothing closet in which people can shop. We are really strong proponents of making sure that there's dignity, and making sure that every instance of our programs people can feel taken care of, but also that they can have choice in some of their options and things like that. So we have a beautiful clothing closet that was actually done by an Eagle Scout troop that came in and put racks on the walls, and really makes it feel like a store. And so people can sign up to have a 30-minute window to go in and shop and pick out some items. And so it ranges from people just needing, an extra set of pants or shirt, or in those special kind of emergency instances, do we find people that have an upcoming job interview, and so they need something more appropriate for that. And so we get the whole staff together to be able to help them out and shop. And I think we've had so many instances of our clients coming in and picking out a beautiful blouse that's been donated, and then using it in a job interview. And because it was that color or specific color, they felt the confidence, and they were able to get the job, and they felt the support around that kind of shopping instance. And I think that really helps someone kind of move forward and feel like they look the part.
Yeah. I mean, when you look good, you feel good, right? And
Yeah,
it gives you that confidence. So
absolutely.
tell us a little bit about how you see Shepherd's Table in the future.
Yeah, this is something that we're talking about right now, as we realize that food insecurity is rising. Unfortunately, here in Montgomery County, so is people experiencing homelessness. And so, what we're thinking about right now is how we work more in partnership with some of these other nonprofits that are doing similar things, right? What does our food system look like? And so that we can provide not only pantry boxes, but maybe prepared meals as well, so that we're taking a little bit of the stress specifically for families that might not have the time or really the energy to kind of put together kind of a fully prepared meal. We're also hoping to expand our services to other shelters, and be able to provide warm, hot, meals to people in our wonderful shelters elsewhere in Montgomery County. We also very much want to expand our culinary skills training program. That's really, really important to us. We've seen so much good from it, and so we just want to make sure that that our curriculum is all set, that we have more teachers, that we have maybe some coaches as well that can be really wonderful life coaches for our students. Maintaining a smaller cohort is important to us, but doing it more frequently throughout the year. Right now, we're doing it about 3 times a year. We would love to do it more. And so it's just really important for us to not only think about how we feed people here at our location in Silver Spring, but also how we're feeding people elsewhere in Montgomery County, and how we can do that better. And then really training people for this kind of larger journey that some people are ready for here at our location, and making sure that they feel the support through our workforce development program.
So, how can people help your organization? And do you have any events for us to look forward to?
Yeah. So we are an organization that relies heavily on volunteers. And so if people would like to go to our website, we use the Volunteer Hub platform, in which there's a full calendar of things that people can sign up for, whether it's a meal shift, to serve a meal, or to help sort clothes in our clothing closet. That's always needed. And so we use that program for volunteers that want to come on site, but we always need food. So donation drives are a big help to us, whether it's a drive of socks or canned goods. We also love when people maybe provide bagged lunches. So if in between our meal times we have some people come for an emergency or something like that, we can make sure that they get some food before they kind of start their intake processing here. So bagged lunches are always a wonderful thing to maybe get a group or a club together to fix up and donate here. And so donation drives are huge. And then we do have our spring fundraiser. It's going to be a kind of a catered event from our Culinary Skills Training Program students, but it's really a wonderful evening that we hope a lot of our community members come and get excited about. That will be on May 6th at the Silver Spring Civic Center. And then, we always love when people want to come by and take tours and do anything like that. And so here at Progress Place in downtown Silver Spring, that's always open, and we hope that people can come and volunteer too.
So we'll make sure that I have all that in the show notes. So if you're listening, I'll have the website and how you can get in touch with Daniella and all of that good stuff. So tell me, I want to know a little bit about you, though. So you're the director of development. Tell me how you got involved within this organization and why you're so passionate about it.
Yeah. So I actually, in a former life, I was in PR and communications, but with that organization, I really worked heavily with nonprofits. And so I was creating a lot of communications plans and doing a lot of media for nonprofits in this area, in the DMV area, realizing that I wasn't really able to kind of put it in action, right? I would come up with all these things and I would help them, but I didn't have much ownership over it. And so I actually, one of my former bosses reached out to me about Shepherd's Table. And in a kismet moment when you're thinking like, what can I do? What more can I do? She said that this is an organization that kind of needed my skills. And so I was so excited to kind of put a lot of my thoughts and strategies and ideas into action at such an organization that feels not only, so authentic in how we do things, but also has so many stories to tell, from our meal guests and clients, but also to our volunteers who have, some have been here for close to 40 years, right? They've been with us since the very beginning, whether it's volunteering in the kitchen or being a longtime donor. There's just so much storytelling, which I absolutely love. And I'm a DMV native. This is, a place and a location that's near and dear to me. And my family has roots in nonprofit work. That's actually where my parents met. And so being a part of a nonprofit and really working on fundraising and things like that, those were all values and missions that I kind of grew up with. So it just felt very natural. I'm also a huge foodie. So, I love going to restaurants around this area. And so being a part of an organization that feeds people and really feeds their soul has just been such a treat. It really has. And it's just a place I look forward to coming to every day.
Wow. Well, Daniella, you have done some incredible work within the organization. But before I let you go, is there anything that we haven't covered that you think someone should know?
Yeah, when I think about Shepherd's Table and Montgomery County specifically, I do think about the wonderful community that we're in. I'm so hopeful. I think a lot of the time we're thinking about what we can do more, but people are doing more already. And so I do want to just say, a very big thank you to our community that supports us not only financially but also in kind through donations and through volunteering here at Shepherd's Table. I also, I really want to kind of speak on the resilience, not only of our community, but also our meal guests. Even, through hard times, they really take care of each other. And that's just such a beautiful thing to see every day. And so I find that sometimes we can be overwhelmed with all the stuff that needs to be done, but there's really wonderful work being done. And it's just, it's a great time to be a part of that. And I just want to say thank you again for allowing me to come on and having the opportunity to share a little bit more about Shepherd's Table. Really, really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Of course, you guys are doing some really incredible work. And I had just heard about you guys through interfaith work. So I'm really excited to share this with our network and get more people involved within your organization. So Danielle, I want to thank you again for coming on. And then I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Truman Charities podcast. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Daniella and learned a lot about Shepherd's Table. If you liked this episode, please take a minute to rate and review our podcast. As I had mentioned before, the reviews really do count. If you'd like to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram at Jamie_Truman Charities, Facebook at Truman Charities. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Jamie Truman. So you don't miss any of Truman Charities' upcoming events like our Derby Party or our Bethesda's Best Happy Hours. Please go to trumancharities.com and sign up for our newsletter. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Truman Charities podcast. Until next time.